Okay, Jim. Well, you're 4 points clear still, but obviously you've now played. Raith have played the same games as yourself. So after that defeat during the week, I mean, do you feel now that this really is Dundee United's title to lose?
Well, we're obviously in the driver's seat. There's no doubt about that. You know, you'd much rather be in our position than be in Raith's, having to chase that deficit down. But you know, we won't get complacent. You know, a lot of people out there saying that, you know, it's ours to lose and what have you. You know, we just have to take it each game as it comes. And I know that's a really boring cliche, but it's really important that we don't take anything for granted. We don't underestimate Morton tomorrow night. We had a really difficult game down there against them a few weeks back, and we're expecting no different tomorrow. You know, Morton are a good, strong team, a physical team. They get the ball forward early. You know, we've defended really well the last couple of games, but you know, tomorrow I feel as if it's going to be probably the toughest test defensively that we've had for a number of weeks, given the physicality of the Morton team. So, you know, we're in a good position. It's exactly where we wanted to be at this time of the season. We just have to go and try and get the job done now.
How important is it, and how significant could it be if you can get those 3 points tomorrow night? Because obviously then Raith go into the weekend knowing that you're 7 points clear, and then should they slip up on Saturday, following weekend could prove significant. It's all ifs and buts, but I mean, you know, getting the 3 points tomorrow.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of different permutations that could happen, you know, depending on how results go. But, you know, we can only focus on the Morton game. We can't take anything for granted. We don't expect to go down there and have an easy night and, you know, just walk away with the 3 points in the bag. Morton have still got a lot to play for themselves, you know, trying to fight for them playoff places. So, you know, of course it would be great, you know, to be sitting at 10 o'clock tomorrow night, 7 points clear with a little bit more of added pressure on Raith Rovers. But, you know, been in the game long enough to know that they can swing very quickly if we do get complacent. You know, it's not a huge gap. It's you know, it's something that obviously we're pleased about, but at the same time, you know, things can change very quickly, and we have to just keep reminding ourselves of that and approach the game in a positive mindset. The lads are in good form. There's a lot of confidence within the group at the moment. We've scored plenty of goals against two tough oppositions in the last couple of games, and kept a couple of clean sheets. And you know, we're not going to be making, you know, drastic changes. It's a very simple message to the players, just to rinse and repeat.
And what has been your message to the players? Because obviously, you know, as you say, yeah, it's great to have that cushion. It isn't huge either. So how do you sort of manage that and make sure that they give everything from now until the end of the season?
The players have given everything all season, to be honest. You know, probably what's been different in the last couple of games is that we haven't been shooting ourselves in the foot. You know, some of the goals that we've conceded in recent games, I feel, have, you know, been caused by our own lapses in concentration or our own poor decision making. You know, defensively against Raith Rovers and against Queen's Park, you know, the players have enjoyed the defensive side of it. You know, we've asked them not to try and be too clever. You know, just make good decisions in those key moments. You know, be good defenders first and foremost, and I think that's what we've done. We've not complicated things at all. We're quite happy to get the ball forward that little bit earlier, maybe, than what we had done in the beginning of the season or even in the middle of the season. You know, Louis Moulton, Tony Watt have been leading the line particularly well for us, using that presence that they've got. You know, bringing other players into play, and you know, a lot of our key players are back to playing to the kind of level that they were at the beginning of the season, which is crucial. And you know, a great time to put a really good positive run together going into this final last bit.
And we were speaking to Tony earlier, and he was referring to the fact that, you know, the faith that you've shown in him has really helped him this season and helped him to push on and put in the performances and get the goals and that sort of thing. How pleased have you been with him and how he's sort of taken on that role in the captaincy, and Louis Moult as well up front, the two of them getting those goals that you need?
Yeah, I think any manager would tell you that you rely on your senior players, you know, a lot. You know, we've tried to give a number of the academy graduates opportunities throughout the course of the season, and you know, some of them have really stepped up. I suppose the likes of Kai Fotheringham deserves a special mention with his goals return and his involvement in goals in terms of assists as well. Miller Thompson has done particularly well at right back as well. Obviously Ross Graham stepping in to that void left by Kevin Holt. But yeah, I mean, the young players have played a part, but the senior players have definitely played a huge role for me in the dressing room in particular, because, as a manager, I see the boys on the training pitch, briefly might pop my head into the dressing room to see one or two, but those guys are in the room constantly with the younger players, and they need to drive the standards and they need to keep the professionalism. And Tony's been a key figure in that. He's a very boisterous character, as you will know. There's nothing better as a manager to walk by the dressing room and hear, the laughing and the joking and the good camaraderie between the group. And I think they've been a credit to themselves up to now as a group. We have had some adversity throughout the season. We've had to play without some key players. Things always haven't went according to plan, but they've been able to come out the other side of it, and they're showing their quality now at this moment in time. And as I said, there's a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel now. We won't take it for granted. We have to just stick together and get the job done.
And just finally, how's your team news going into the game?
Probably similar to a lot of teams out there at this time of the season. It's been a long physical campaign, and lots of players playing with different injuries and different niggles, and guys just trying to get through it at the moment, which is good. We've got a couple that will probably miss on the game tomorrow night. Alex Grieve unfortunately picked up a serious ankle injury against Queen's Park, and Declan Gallagher obviously is still missing, but we would expect Gal to be back involved with the group maybe middle of next week and be part of the squad for the following weekend.
So is it disappointing not to have Alex Grieve and that be him for the season then?
Well, we're not too sure. I'm not going to rule him out for the season just yet, but obviously, we do only have a handful of games left. So, we are running out of time in terms of his recovery process, but it was a bad knock to the ankle that he took, and he's been a really good loan signing for us. He's came in at a key moment, and he's added a bit of quality. He's been a great option for us coming off the bench in the games that he's started in. He's played a key role, and he will be missed, but at the same time it's an opportunity there for some of the younger players to step into.
Thank you.
Thanks.
And obviously playing Morton tomorrow, the games between the sides have been really close so far this season. And what do you think it is that means both sides have kind of struggled to separate themselves?
Well, I think Dougie Imrie deserves a lot of credit. His teams are always really well organised. You know what you're going to get with them. Like I said earlier, they're very good at what they do. There's many different ways to play the game, and Morton make no bones about the fact that they want to get the ball forward to George Oakley. He's probably one of the best target men in the league. He showed that here at Tannadice last time we played them at home, and he's certainly a player that we have to manage better tomorrow night than we did on that occasion. They're a physical team. They've got good experience throughout their team. There's players within their group that I know particularly well, having worked with them in the past, the likes of Callum Waters and Kirk Broadfoot and Alan Power. So I know the characters that they've got in their group. They'll never give up. They'll keep fighting right till the end. They'll be desperate to try and get into that playoff place, and I think if Dougie Imrie manages that with the squad and the resources that he has available to him, I think it'll be one of the jobs of the season from any manager in the league. So I've got the utmost respect for Dougie and for Andy Millen as assistant, and we're expecting a really, really difficult game, but we done really well down there last time. It wasn't a particularly great game to watch. It was a real battle and a dogfight in the middle of the park, and I felt we won more of those individual battles on the night, which is why we came out on the right end of the result, and that's what we're looking for again tomorrow night.
And just finally, you've kind of alluded to earlier that your team's really kind of hitting top form just at the right time of the season. And just how important is it to try and maintain those levels now just through the last 4 games?
Well, we said to the players after the Wraith Rovers game that anybody can lift themselves for a big game. In the Wraith Rovers game out here, we knew the importance of it and the significance of it, and the players really stepped up. But the good players play to those levels consistently. And I was delighted that they were able to back up that good, solid performance with another one at Hampden last Saturday. And we need to do it continuously now in the next 4 games. And we need, the standards to remain where they are. Individually, everybody is, playing a part, but collectively as a group, whether it's guys coming off the bench and making an impact, everybody has played a significant role in that, and we need that right through till the end, to the 3rd of May. And I think if we can maintain the levels that we're at, then hopefully everything else will take care of itself.